Get your mom and dog and dad and uncle to subscribe, please. Okay, joke's on all of us, my window's frozen shut, so. Hi. So you may be like, Lauren, why do you look extra bright today? It's because I have this light that I usually have on my desk. I just use natural light, but I just decided let's add a little extra to it. And I brought this desk lamp and put it here, so that's why I'm looking bright. Before I get into this, I should probably do my intro. Hey everyone, my name's Lauren. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. I'm Lauren. If you are new, you should definitely hit the red subscribe button below because it's fun, it's free, and I post videos most Sundays. I try my best to do every Sunday, but it doesn't always work out, and I apologize for that. So if you couldn't tell by the title, today's video is going to be reading through some of the poems I've written, and I love writing poetry, and I think it's very fun, and it's a good way to express yourself, and it's a form of art, and there's no point in making art if you're not going to share it with people. And like a lot of these things I haven't shared, or I've barely ever shared with people, so today's the day that I'm going to share it. Before I get into this, I want to say a few things. I just wanted to film like a very sit down video that's just like chill, just like me being me, just filming a good fun video where I don't like move around a lot, where I don't do a bunch of stuff, where I just sit down and like talk, because I feel like that's fun and people like that and I like that, so that's why we're here. The last time I did one of these videos was like my To My Crush video. I was wearing the same hoodie. It was linty, and it is linty today. I tried to like use my lint roller and get most of it off, but it didn't quite work. Some of it is like stuck on there. I tried to film a video yesterday because I like to film videos on Fridays after I get home from school, since I get home from school early, because then I can like edit them throughout the weekend and stuff. But like I sat down to film it and I just realized like how unmotivated I was to film. I didn't have a plan for it. I honestly came up with it like so quick, and I didn't have a plan or anything. I mean, I never really have a plan, but like I really didn't have a plan that time, and I just sat down and filmed it, and I just like hated it. So like halfway through I was like, you know what, this sucks, and I just like turned it off. I was trying to film this like TikTok video, and I just like hated it. So this light is really freaking hot. I was gonna film like, I tried filming that TikTok video. I was gonna film like a cover, but then I was like, do I want people's ears to bleed? Probably not. So here we are, filming something else. Before I get into this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot to me, and we're almost at 600, so I would really love it if you could do that, because I have something I want to show you when I hit 600, just some things a fan of mine have sent me. Trying so hard to be sarcastic, because it is, but you'll see it. If you couldn't tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be reading some of my old depressing poems. Might as well share them because they're there and they're a part of me, and I mean, might as well share them and make some content out of it. I honestly forgot about a lot of these poems. Like, some of them aren't even poems, they're just little things I've written, but they're still like, oh, you know? So I'm just gonna be reading these, and I guess I'll give you like, I'll tell you like when I wrote them and kind of a bit of what they were about, like a bit of context. I'm just gonna start because I don't think anyone cares about anything I just said. Oh, that's good water. I think it's important to show this and to share this because it comes from a deep place of my heart, and it's taking that pain and that sadness and that stress and turning it into something beautiful, and turning it into art, and turning it into something that people like and that people can relate to and can feel, and it's just like music. I'm gonna actually get into the poems now. I'm sorry that I've talked so much about stuff that's not reading my poems. No more talking. Lauren, stop. This is a poem about trees that I wrote when I was in grade 7 or 8, so trees stand tall and strong until something forces them to fall, but maybe what makes them tumble to the ground is something we didn't expect at all. Maybe trees have hidden secrets or unsaid stories just like us, but they're quite good at keeping them concealed, and they're great at not putting up a fuss. But when a tree falls down, is it because of the wind, old age, or heavy branches? Or is it caused by their quiet brokenness, their past regrets and missed chances? Could it be the result of something more than what we see from the outside? Is it caused by the sadness all of us try to hold and hide? So maybe it's not the things on the outside that bring a tree to fall, but the weight of all their secrets, too heavy and painful to hold up tall. That one was like not one of my favorites. I don't like it that much. I think it's kind of like a younger writing style, and like now my writing style is more mature, but I do think it has a good message, and that it comes from a deep place. And I think at that time I was pretty low. I was pretty sad, stressed out. I mean, grade 7 wasn't that bad, but I feel like then it wasn't like stress as much. It was more just like I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I mean, I still don't, but I know a little more. I think that you never really know your full self. Like, even when you're on your deathbed, even when you're on your deathbed and you're like gonna take your last breath, you still don't know everything about yourself, and you still don't know who you are. But at that point, I knew like nothing about myself. I knew nothing about what I was doing. So I just like wrote that out of a place of confusion. This one I really don't like, but I'm gonna read it anyways because maybe someone will like it or relate to it. I honestly hate this one, but who cares? We are all just a pile of broken pieces, each person filled with pain and sorrow. Most of us just wear smiles like masks. Some don't even wish for tomorrow. We all just fake our happiness, our humor, and our pride, and no one really ever talks about everything they try to hide. But I wish that we could learn to really open up to each other, find people who we trust and love, and discover how your pain relates to the others. Because we shouldn't all hide our sadness that everyone seems to know. Why don't we start connecting in our brokenness and let our true selves show? Back then, I didn't even know the half of it. But, like, I don't like that poem. I would never write something like that now. But I think it's also beautiful in and of itself. This one I wrote in grade 7 or grade 8 as well. And this one, like, I really liked. Like, I tweaked this one so much to make it just how I liked it. I think it's pretty good for a grade 7 kid. This one's about a little girl. When I showed it to some of my friends, I didn't tell anyone this, but it was actually supposed to be about myself. Just take a listen. She dipped her toes into the soft sand and let her imagination fly away. She envisioned a perfect world where everything lacked sadness and dismay. But she snapped back into reality, remembering what she had come to do. She knew she needed to fly away, like her mind so easily tried to. She slipped her toes into the ocean's depths, unable to forget what they had said. Get your thoughts out of the clouds. There's some issue with your head. She then took off her mask, once meant to look like a smile, as she peered out at the water, that seemed to stretch farther than a mile. She knew they wouldn't care if she left, since they hurt her without pity. So she let her mind fly into the universe and her body into the sea. It was just coming from a place of brokenness and pain. I'm literally shaking. I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell. My voice is shaking. My body's like vibrating. But this one was about a specific person that meant a lot to me at the time. Now I don't talk to them at all. But I'm gonna read it anyways. I don't really like it because it just reminds me of that person. And they were just, anyways. I met you in the darkest time when there was no light to help us see. You were like a star that lit up my life. You meant the world to me. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just like so, it was so cheesy. I thought you were so special, so different and so pure. But now that you've changed and gotten bored of me, I'm not so sure. Ooh, this one's not bad. These are all from like grade 7, grade 8, just in case you were wondering. Show me all your scars, tell me all the stories. Talk to me about how you once felt safe, but now you are just sorry. Show me your painful bruises, tell me how they came to be. And once you're done with talking about your pain, let's start discussing me. I don't know what to say, like, I don't even know what to say about these because they're not, like, reasons, so I can't, like, give much context, but let me introduce myself since we haven't properly met. I'll tell you the gruesome story of my life. Planet Earth is where it's set. The world like a bitter pill, so big and hard to swallow. It can so easily cut and break you, and make your heart seem hollow. Welcome to my life. It's broken and it's torn. But don't have pity on me, for this is how beauty is born. Good words, wise words, grade 7, grade 8, Lauren. This one is way too dark to read, so I'm not going to read that one either. This one's good. I think this one was in grade 8, I think, or grade 7. But I know I submitted it for a project in grade 8 because we We had to do a poetry book in grade 6, and then we had to do one in grade 8. Grade 8, you could write like free verse if you wanted, so that's what this is. Chains around my ankles, pulling me deeper and farther down. Weights tied to my legs, forcing me to drown. Ropes around my lungs, cutting me off from air. Hands tugging at my heart, scissors straining for my hair. Nails piercing through my flesh, words grabbing at my thoughts. Poison poured into my stomach, tying my intestines into knots. Trapped inside this living hell, I'm constantly wondering, what must I do to escape this endless suffering? I'm shaking again. That gave me chills a little bit. Life shouldn't be a burden, it shouldn't be a pain. It's a gift meant to bless, even if some days only bring rain. We always take our lives for granted, like it will never end, but we all know when a loved one's lost, the wounds never mend. Our days are only numbered, they aren't ours to keep, yet we always treat our lives like school supplies that were bought for only cheap. As we go about our days, forgetting the things that truly matter, our happiness starts to drift. We become sadder and sadder. Don't let anything stop you from the dreams you hold inside. And don't let anyone tell you that what you have is something you should hide. Be happy that you still have a life that only gives, because everyone has a life, but not everybody lives. Okay, that one stung. I'd say that's probably grade 8. Yeah, that's that poem. Okay, let's read it. I have never reread this one. I'm trying to love, but all I get is hate. Loved yet unloved, cared for yet forgotten, afraid to love, afraid it's too late, damaging myself with every word I say. This one I wrote this year. I like this guy named Jake. He's probably watching this, honestly. Yeah, Jake, love you. Anyways, I don't like him anymore. I mean, it was really about everyone I've liked. I just spit it all out and then I was over it. So September, maybe in the summer, I don't know. So this one actually has a title for once. It's called The Process of Unloving. You love them, you say, but it would never work. You try to get closer, but it just gets worse. A love that's forbidden, one that can't be around. A romance forgotten, buried in the ground. How do you get over someone? They often ask. You never really do, so you just wear a mask. A mask of happiness, of being okay, when really you're dying almost every single day. How do you get over someone who once meant so much? How do you see them around and not want to stay in touch? The heartache, the heartbreak will never go away. The hard eyes, the hopeful lies are always here to stay. Just love yourself, find someone else, and give them all your love. That's like settling for a pigeon when all you want is a dove. No one really knows, not even those above, how to unbreak a heart and how to unlove. That one stings. That's all I can say, is it stings. So this document is called Thoughts. It has a general title, but it has a few different topics, I guess. It has a title and it's just called Somewhere Between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Then I have just a bunch of short little things. They're just my thoughts. They're not even poetry. They're just little thoughts. I've lost my love for life the way gum loses its flavor. At first it was tasty and delicious and sweet, and then it went downhill and became like concrete. I used to think poetry always had to rhyme, but I realized it just had to make you feel something when you felt nothing. Bipolar, sometimes stuck between happy and sad, or sometimes pain and numbness, day and night, or night and darkness. I'm so tired, not of school, not of being in love, not even of life itself, but of feeling absolutely nothing. Right. A depressive relapse is not a going back to the hurt, the pain, the emptiness. It's a seeing back to the happiness, the joy, the peace, and feeling as though it'll never return. Ow! I liked writing poetry because it made me feel something when I had always felt nothing. Not quite a feeling of happiness, but perhaps of peace. It was like pouring water on a dead desert and seeing flowers start to grow but not yet bloom. All I want is for someone to dig deep into my heart, mind, and soul and find something I can't find in myself, something beautiful. Sometimes I wonder if in a past life I was a black hole, pulling things in only to destroy them, to tear them apart, and perhaps that part of my past is still within me. Anyways, there's one called Open Me. Okay, this is not poetry, so I'm not really going to read it. It was kind of just a bunch of rants. The first one's titled Undecided. The second one's titled Undecided Continued. The second one's called People, the Human Race, Life. The next one's called Music. The next one's called Boys. The next one's called Myself. The next one's called Pondering Death by Means of Depression and Anxiety. Probably not going to read that one ever. Okay, I'm going to read the one called Myself just for fun because I feel like I should read at least one thing in here. I love myself. I do. I mean, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I think I look like absolute trash, but it's impossible to completely be happy with yourself. I'm almost there though. I stopped finding my identity in a mirror, a scale, a grade, a compliment, a rude comment, etc. You can't love yourself until you find your worth, identity, truth, and self in Christ and His love. Jesus is in you, and once you realize that and that He made you, you can't help but love yourself. I love how I look and I love how I am on the inside because I know that Christ is there, in my heart and mind. Everything that happens to me, past, present, and future, is meant for a reason and part of His plan, and that makes me love myself even when I make mistakes. That's cute. That's cute. I'm almost done, don't worry. I'm sure you're probably like, shut up, like no one likes this, Lauren. Okay, this one I just like wrote randomly. It's really long, so I'm just gonna read it. You are not your insecurities, what your parents think you are, what your teacher thinks you are, what your friends think you are, defined by what others think of you, a number on a scale, your score on a test, a number on a report card, defined by what's on the outside, defined by your flaws and mistakes, a mistake, ugly, unworthy, unloved, fat, what everyone says you are, stupid, the clothes you wear, undeserving of this life, cursed, an accident, alone. You are loved, important, special, and precious, 1 in 7 billion people, you. One of a kind, worth it, part of a bigger picture, beautiful, perfect, unique, strong and independent, who God says you are, who you say you are, whoever you want to be, the things you say, how you treat others and yourself, a miracle, amazing, stunning, capable of doing anything you dream of. That's cute. I really like that actually. I kind of want to make that into like a little wallpaper thing or like put it on my wall because that's actually really cute. I have an addiction. I'm addicted, obsessed, in love with something that I shouldn't be. Head over heels for the feeling of not getting what I want, the feeling of being unloved, unwanted. Or perhaps that feeling is just so familiar that I'm used to it, content with it. Like how you can be force-fed something you don't like to the point where you actually start to tolerate it and enjoy it. The feeling of being left behind becomes comfortable and even enjoyable to the point where I crave it and long for it. It gets to the point where when I am loved or wanted, I feel anxious like it's not meant to be, so I push it away. Alright, I sit here again thinking of death, thinking of the end of life. It intrigued me, probably more than it should, and I think of it often. Death, not dying nor killing, but death itself. The noun, a person, place, or thing. Perhaps death was all three, and perhaps the snow falling and rolling down my roof is nothing but ashes. The gray skies seem to tell a story of my past, but when I don't want to remember. It brings me back to my childhood when I thought the world was so perfect that there was no room to think of death. Dang. Or this is just a random one. I forget what it feels like to feel. Happiness, you would think, but for me, it's any emotion really. Sad as if steering to dim eternity, they say. But what happens when your hands are off the wheel and you fall off the road? That's like bad, but like it's also like, alright. I take Advil for the headaches, the nausea, the body aches, but it won't ever take my emotional pain away. The pain of waking up and going to sleep feeling worthless, like nothing. I love who I am, but God, I hate myself. I feel like two people, one being the positive, confident one I show to others, and the other being the hidden, broken, crying, dying one who's slowly losing hope. It hurts, it stings. Grief and anger is all it brings. Dang. This is the last one I'm going to read because, yeah. And that feeling of being unwanted returns, like an old friend stopping by every once in a while to remind you that you're worthless. And that's where this video ends. That was a lot. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like them. Tell me if you hate them. Tell me if you relate. Tell me anything that you feel about this, because I don't know how I feel. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. If you don't do anything or hit the thumbs up button anyways. So yeah, I hope you like this. I hope you're having a good day, and if you're not, I hope this made your day better. And if you didn't, watch my other videos, and hopefully they'll make your day better. I love you a lot. I'm scared to upload this, like I'm literally shaking, but I'm also excited, and I feel like it's very important, and it's very necessary, and fun, and exciting, and interesting. But I feel like it's also some stuff that needs to be said, and you might be able to resonate with it. And I just think that maybe you'll enjoy it, and that some people might need it. So, yeah. Peace out. Love you. Bye. I am exhausted from filming that, but that's okay because I'm excited to edit and post this. I didn't post for some thumbnail. Should I even post for thumbnail or just like take one? I don't know. Sorry I didn't kiss you, but it's obvious
place I wanted to.